What's going on, everybody? It's Captain Trucker. Thank you for tuning in. We have a rainy day here at the lovely Sugar Beach in Sapale. Please subscribe, by the way, if this is your first time, and thank you for coming back. It's been quite a fun few days. I used to swim in the rain in Playa del Carmen, Mexico. It was a thing, apparently. This like old hippie guy was doing it, and he's like, "Yeah, man, you didn't know you can swim in the rain?" I said, "Yeah, I guess it's true. I mean, the water's wet, the ocean's wet. I mean, what's the difference, right? I guess it's like the sunshine aspect. Although, I'm not sure if like that whole electrocution thing is real and like lightning. I haven't figured that one out. If there's any people out there that know, I probably should have Googled that before I talked about it. But yeah, if lightning hits the water while you're in it, is that dangerous? That's the next question. I'm not sure if that's the same, what do you call it, physics as like, if you're in the bathtub and you have like a toaster in there or something, or a hair dryer. I don't know why you have a toaster in the bathtub, but I guess if you're making bagels while you're in the bath, no, it'd be more like a hair dryer. If that falls in, that's dangerous. So don't do that. Um, that's a good public service announcement, by the way. No hair dryers in the bathtub, kids. Anyway, I'm not sure if that same principle applies to the lightning striking the water. So if anybody knows, let me know, because I was thinking about going for a swim today, as a matter of fact. This nice man back there is building a new hut. I like these little huts here. They're nice. Not really huts, but they're actually, the owner of this place did a really good job. I put the link in my other video, actually. If you come to Sugar Beach, truly, this is actually a really good place to stay. Really affordable prices. Um, Anyway, what I wanted to talk about in this video was a mini-series that I was filming before I came to the Philippines many years ago, outside of Los Angeles, somewhere. There was used to be famous, and still is in my opinion, and I think he's actually making movies again. He was in the Jesus Revolution. A gentleman by the name of Shaun Weiss, who was he played Goldberg in the Mighty Ducks movies, the Disney movies in the 1990s, and he was also in Heavyweights, the Disney movie, and he did many other things. We were good friends at the time. We're still friends. I just haven't talked to him recently, but uh, we were working on like a kind of filming this funny comedy sort of action, low budget thing. Maybe I'll put some clips of it like in the shorts on this channel. We'll see what happens. But anyway, we used to live in our car. Well, actually, no, Shaun lived in a van for a while, and I lived in this old Audi, as a matter of fact, that I still have. Still runs good. A 1999 Audi Quattro A4. The seats are all torn out, but boy, that car still runs good. And this story does tie into the Philippines. I'll get to that soon. Because this channel is about like expat life in the Philippines, and I guess stories from my life and advice for foreigners, as well as truck driving. So, we got some variety on this channel. So anyway, I was living in a car, Shaun was in a van, and I think another friend gave him the van. Yeah, and we were sort of filming stuff, uh, which I thought some of it was funny. Some of it was sad, of real reality aspects going on to the film, if you will. Like my friend Shaun Weiss. He's a really good man. He's a really good friend. He's got the biggest heart, and he's like really funny. He really is. He's like a funny for real type of person, being a real movie star. But anyway, he went on some rough times when his father passed away, and sometimes we all say things, there's ridiculous things in moments, and people tend to use it against you. We saw that actually with, I'm not comparing him, but with Mel Gibson, for instance. If anybody is familiar with Mel Gibson, he did the Lethal Weapon movies, Braveheart, Hacksaw Ridge, what do you call it? The Passion of the Christ. I don't know the man, but I mean, I just, my heart goes out to him during those days because he went through, he said some really inflammatory comments about like, Jewish people, and he got drunk a few times, and, his ex-wife at the time was recording him and doing really shady things, and I think he felt he got some mistreatment in Hollywood after he did that Passion of the Christ movie from certain groups. And I think he just said some inappropriate, reckless things. And being the man he was in that kind of limelight, they really hammered him for years, in my opinion, unfairly. And they did the same thing to Shaun Weiss, in my opinion, the media. Yeah, but Shaun has come back actually. He's been sober for a long time. He was just in the Netflix movie, The Jesus Revolution, I believe. Okay, I'm getting off course, but anyway, my point is, he's a good guy. He really is. I mean that sincerely. Shaun, Shaun was really clever. Well, maybe I shouldn't tell this story. I don't know. Well, it's known. It was. Well, I don't want to say that story actually, but what am I doing? I got to go. I'll be right back. Petty theft was a very common thing, or still is, I believe, a common thing in like California. So there's stories you hear like up in like San Francisco or Los Angeles where people will literally walk into a CVS and walk out with like goods and stuff. Um, and even if they're caught by the security and the police come, apparently they don't even get arrested sometimes, or they just get like or maybe the courts don't even want to deal with it because it's so common and there's like bigger things going on, I guess. It's kind of an interesting thing, but in like bigger cities, obviously homelessness can be an issue and people needed food to survive. And this was only like a 2-year phase of my life, by the way, where I was sleeping in the car and that sort of stuff. I got a good, decent career eventually. I had a career before that, but I was able to save and invest more money and get, all that financial stuff squared away, so it's all good. But other people like who had been through stuff like that had it much worse, like because Shaun was sick at the time. For instance, he had like serious diabetes, and but just such a good friend. I mean, it's like we had a lot of fun, and I had like a apartment for at one point, and he used to stay with me, and eventually the landlord evicted me because I guess you're not allowed to have people like sleeping on the floor or something, and 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 then because this woman was like a kind of a shady realtor apparently, and yeah, it was a whole thing, and she was trying to get my deposit, and then we had this big argument, and she wrote like some letter saying that I was moving homeless people into the apartment or something. just like outlandish allegations. Uh, so anyway, yeah, we're filming this series, and with another friend too, this good guy named Adam. Uh, so it was known that Shaun got in a little bit of trouble over a few times, I guess, for like petty theft or something, whatever. And of course, like the media just totally exaggerates it as always, But I do recall one story when we were driving uh, in North Hollywood, and I was for like 20 minutes, and I'm lecturing him about how, he's got to be careful, like, taking stuff from stores, and, he shouldn't do it anymore, and it's not good. And I went on like this 20-minute speech, like I do in this video about like morality and stuff, and just going on, and he's patiently listening. And we're probably listening to like Rush or something. And so then he goes, Captain, I need to stop here. And it was a Trader Joe's. And then Shaun's getting out of the car, and he looks back at me, and I go, oh, hey, Shaun, I put my sunglasses down. I said, listen, when you go in, make sure you grab a 6-pack. Don't get any of that Bud Light stuff. Get like that, get a gourmet beer, and I want chicken wings, and try to get like honey mustard, not ranch, okay? And he looks back at me, and he goes, Captain, look at you. He goes, look at you. He said, "What's wrong with you?" And I said, "Yeah, you're right. Don't do that." Um, well, I just assumed that's what he was going to do. I mean, I was hungry. I never stole. That wasn't my thing. I guess some of my friends did that occasionally to survive, and I just thought, hey, if he's gonna do it, just grab some chicken wings while you're there, I guess, right? I don't know. Anyway, so we didn't have to do that for too long. Everybody got gainful employment, and I'm very proud of Shaun for. This was many, many years ago, by the way. He doesn't do any of that stuff anymore. This is like maybe 10 years ago, 9 years ago. Could have been last week. No, it wasn't. Um, anyway, no, seriously though, he got his life together, and Shaun, we're very proud of you. And he was just in the Netflix, an episode of a Netflix movie, I think, called The Jesus Revolution. So, congratulations, Mr. Weiss. We're rooting for you. And if anybody deserves a comeback, if anybody deserves redemption and second and third chances, a man like Shaun Weiss does. Absolutely. I mean that sincerely. Because any petty mistakes he made, like, getting chicken wings for us, he didn't deserve some of the treatment by the press over the years. And I mean that sincerely, because he actually was having health issues at the time as well. And, it's like, I was talking about how, like, the Philippines can be like a place of second and third chances for people. And that's one of the beauties of the culture and the beauties of the Filipinos is they're so welcoming to us. And it's something that we shouldn't take for granted and that we shouldn't take advantage of either, right? And that's, again, one of the blessed things about this culture is, like, I think the Filipinos are like among the last real humanitarians on earth. I say humanitarians in the sense that they really treat people well and equally, maybe even better. They treat some foreigners in some ways, deservedly or not. So, yeah, we got to be very grateful to the Filipinos and stuff, ladies and gentlemen. I've said this before, a lot of men in their 50s and 60s and 70s, they've already been through life's crises, or many of them have been divorced already. They've had careers, they've had ups and downs in life, and they can come here and meet a great Filipina, or not such a great one, and they can change their life, okay? And that's a beautiful thing, and we hear a lot of success stories, so we're happy to hear that. Well, anyway, I'll get more to that other stuff later. I don't know if anybody's interested in those stories or those videos from those days. But I want to reemphasize that was just a short period, and most of us always had gainful employment like good old Americans, and we worked hard for many years. That's the other thing too. It's like, talking about phases people can go through in life, right? So we're like in our 30s at the time, and then suddenly maybe if you don't work or you have little employment for like a year or two, like everybody's just like, oh, the man doesn't work, right? It's like, dude, you could have worked for like 15 years prior to that, right? I mean, it's like with Shaun Weiss, man, he was like a legit movie star, okay? And life can change like that, and you can go into a spiral, but some people don't come back. He came back, and others come back, okay? We all can come back. So, never lose hope in people. Never write people off. Okay. All right, well, I'm going to go get some chicken wings in the spirit of Shaun Weiss, and please subscribe. Thank you all for watching. Appreciate the comments. I look forward to them, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.